room text.
Little bloopers video.
Right? Hey, it's Kimberly Smith Austin, and I want to welcome you back to another episode of the Made to Inspire podcast. I am here with the awesome and amazing Misty Kerrigan. Hey, Misty.
Hey, Kimberly.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, and welcome back to you guys. We are on part 4 of our 4-part series.
5-part.
5-part. Then we're on 5 of our 5, right?
Yeah, 5 of 5.
We're on 5 of 5.
Yes.
I forgot our first one was an introductory one.
Right.
But now that we're on 5 of 5, I just want to kind of lay it out there. This is the hardest phase for me. I don't mind clarifying. I could take meds and clarify. I love being in ideas.
Yeah.
I even love being in develop because I like refining it. I like the beta testing. I love that. But my business partner here can tell you, sometimes when it comes to the last stage of implementer, sometimes I need a push.
Yeah. You know, and if I may call on you personally, Misty and I met some years ago now, more than 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And when we met, Misty had shared with me all of the learning and education and training you had done. Lots and lots. She's brilliant, first of all. If you don't know, she is a genius, brilliant. And I love that about you because you love learning.
Oh, yeah.
And you learned so much over the years. But when we got together, one of the things I discovered is that it's one thing to learn something, but there's something else about doing it, putting it into action, putting it into play. And some might call me the let's go, fast go, move person.
You are the let's go. We call it let's go.
Let's go. We got to go. If you look at my social media, I say that word, let's go, all the time.
Let's go.
But that was where you found that was kind of problematic for you. You hadn't yet.
I was in the implementing stage. I think I had that analysis paralysis. I should know more, which I think is a great time because I was at that time really looking. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to get more from my ideas and really impact more people.
Yes.
But my mindset was still in that safety and security.
Yeah.
And so, but you, what I loved about your journey and where we go from implementer is, you moved from a really great career, like as an employee, like 6 figures on your way up to 7, and we're like, no, I want to move into it my way. And then the conversation turned out was all along you knew you always wanted to have your own company, and we're utilizing that as a step. So you were in the whole process. There was part of your steps to clarify was going out and seeing what other companies were doing, working for them, and then launching your company instead of just running out and launching a company.
That's right. And that was so important. And you make me think about, I just did a coaching session with a young lady who was similar, spent a lot of money and time. She's brilliant, but she hasn't taken the action. And one thing I said to her is don't spend another dollar. You have everything you need inside of you, and it's now time to implement. It's now to put these things in action and get really hyper-focused so that you can do it. Nike says it best. Just do it. Just do it. And I know that in that do it phase, sometimes that's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary because, like you said, do I have all the information I need? Will companies support me? Will they believe in me? And it goes back to you believing in you and just doing it.
Absolutely.
Just trying it. And that's why we love the beta testing. Because beta testing and the validation process will help you see who's willing to give you $1, who's willing to give you a discount, who's willing to take the chance on you. So now we want to talk about the implementation stage, which is all about, in our book, that last one, do it.
I love it because it says, in the implementation stage, we're really putting on our mover and shaker's hats. And even when you listen to the podcast, we do this process in the podcast, and we even in every podcast with a call to action to go into action.
Yes, I love it, which is my funny thing. So think about implementation. And I know some of you will probably identify best with this stage. You get the information and you're ready to run. That's me. But it's going back to making those decisions, right? It goes back to selling those ideas. It goes back to staying in action. Inaction is not where you want to be. This is the action phase where you're going to grow and you build. And you do that by creating a simple action plan. I know that sounded simple, right? A simple action plan. But you do. You think about what you want to accomplish and you begin creating the plan.
Well, I think the magic of your plan, whether it's an idea for a all women's business day, all women's business nonprofit, or a empowerment women and wellness book to inspire others, is the number one thing in implementation is you set deadlines.
Yes.
And then those deadlines aren't easily negotiable. Even if you have people talking, like an entire team trying to talk you into moving something forward, once the deadline's set, what you believe is once you're committed, you just move forth. Even if we learn and we'll do better next year, the best way to learn is by actually in action.
That's right.
So it's the deadlines and commitment that actually push more stuff into the world.
That's it.
And a quick thing on this one is, you've had the idea for a little bit of the book. You know how you wanted it to feel and to be, and then once you had the nonprofit, you were like, no, this book's needed because it's going to help fuel the nonprofit to help more women and to help more children and to help veterans and to help causes. And so I get a phone call. If you're watching on video, I'm on back of this book. I get a phone call. She said, look, if you want in this book, you have 8 days because it's going to printing with or without you. And there was 8 of us she was trying to wrangle because they're really great stories and lessons. But what motivated me was the like, do or don't, but this is the deadline.
Get on the pot and get off, right?
My grandma used to say that, which is funny, maybe why I stay out of action.
That's right.
But deadlines inspire action.
That's right.
And the thing with her, she's not a negotiator for deadlines. I knew it was 7 days, it was 7 days. It wasn't like, well, by the time their kid was going to make it another week. She's not. And so part of you, if you're the leading and delegating or leading and setting those dates, is you have to set stuff with non-negotiable, even if it falls flat, because that motivates people to move into action.
Yeah, I think about that. And as you were speaking, it made me think about my signature model, which is DCA, decide, commit, and act. And I realized that decision that's made early on, and then the commitment that comes with it is the action. But the action is centered around discipline. Discipline. And when you make that decision, we're moving forward as an organization. We want to innovate. We want to change. We want to make a difference in the marketplace. You have to take the action, because if you don't, you've wasted time, energy, and money. And who wants to do that? In today's economy, with inflation as high as it is, changing times, the society where they're so distracted, we don't have time to waste. We need to move forward with these visions, with these ideas, so we can change the world.
You know, our brains are psychologically wired to not move into action. We have to be intentional. And that's where commitment comes in, or that intrinsic motivation, because we have to be aware and move, where our brains, in our unconscious brains, we won't move because our whole premise is safety. And safety comes from doing what we did yesterday. So if something's going to push you outside of your comfort zone, where the only place that you can grow is, it really is something like accountability partner, a coach, or someone that you, a mentor.
Yeah.
So these are all different roles that we play. And you did an amazing. Here's the great thing about in your company. I want you to think about this. I'm going to take it back and then I'll bring us back. But Kimberly did a speech one time about mentorship, and 200 people lined up because they were hungry for guidance.
Yes.
So in your company, action might be mentoring and setting deadlines and pushing people to move until they become the ones that are able to help others.
Yeah, that's so good. And when you say that, it makes me think about rallying up the team, building alliances. And remember, this whole process, when you talk about taking your ideas from inspiration to monetization, when you talk about innovation, this all should be around building alliances, bringing the team in, because as implementers, as the implementation process, you're rallying the troops and you're helping everyone achieve the goal. You know, what is it? Everyone team together, everyone achieve more.
Ooh, yeah.
And that's what we want to do, because the project, the process, whatever the idea is, we want to take it home. We want to drive it home. Without that, again, we're spinning our wheels. So we think about implementation and think about what are those steps that you need. Now, here's the truth. You've already backed up and did a beta testing.
You already have that.
You've done it. And we want to take the results from that beta test. People said yes, people said no, but don't just leave it there. Ask them, why did you say yes? Why did you say no? So it can help with the full implementation of the process. We have a digital course that we're releasing out to you here really soon so that you can now take your ideas, you can take that innovation step and then bring it into action for you. But because we know that it's an iteration process. Things are happening, you need to know why, when, and then keep building so you can create the success that your heart desires.
And I think you do it best when, like you said, we have those actionable plans, when we have the map it in our book.
Yeah.
But it's really taking something that is, I like to use these analogies, but if I'm going to train for a marathon, I'm going to feel very overwhelmed if I'm on my couch. But if you show me, hey, day one, you're just going to go for a walk.
Yeah.
And then after day one, then maybe I might go for a walk run.
Yeah.
And then I might go for a walk run walk, right? And then I'm going to rest. But if I have a plan that it looks like is tangible, that I could do, and it's broken down into those steps, I'm more likely to do it, because an overwhelmed mind does nothing. It stays on the couch.
Yes.
But a mind that is able to be like, I could go for a walk today. I come home, I feel good about myself.
Yes.
I go for a walk on the second day, I feel great about myself. And by the third day, I'm in momentum.
You're like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And you're ready to run to that finish. Because now you have the baby steps in place and you've mastered them and on to full implementation and action.
And you could do that with any project. I use running because it's easy for us to picture, but what about in a launch of an app, or you're taking two companies and you're merging them together? Like, there is, no matter what you do, if you utilize this concept, people are going to have quicker buy-in, and when you have quicker buy-in, you move into action faster.
And Missy, I'll tagline piggyback. I don't like the word piggyback. I don't know why that word, but on the walk run concept. My program, Walk Run Race, that's the whole point of it. It's a progressive program to help people go from walking to running to racing. I think about Martin Luther King Jr., who has a quote that says, if you can't crawl, or if you can't run, walk. And if you can't walk, crawl. The key is to keep moving, to keep moving. And in this motivation, in this inspiration, in the innovation, the key is to keep moving. Now you're implementing and bringing it to life.
I love that. And one of the things we're starting to teach in mental health, especially in children's services and mental health, is when you're in action and you set the small milestones to help you motivate to move to that action, when you cross that first milestone, celebrate, pause, take the time to be proud of yourself and look at the steps it took to get you where you're at, so that you could have more momentum and more confidence to head towards that second milestone.
I love that. And listen, if you're struggling, that's what we're here for. We're here, we have a workshop, we have a course, we have programming that's going to help you take it from just the idea or the desire to innovate, the desire to do more for your organization. We want to be that resource for you, and that's why we're making ourselves available. If you check us out at madetoinspire.com, we have resources, but connect with us and let us be the resource so you can be the resource for the organization that you run, for the entity that you're trying to drive in the direction in which you move forward. We say it all the time. There's something out there waiting for you, but before you chime in, there's something out there waiting for you. But if you never take action, you'll never get to it. So we want to encourage you. Join us for our workshop. We have workshops in all 4 of those phases that we share to help you dig a little deeper, to really understand, so that innovation is not just a one-time thing in your organization. We want to drive it home so that you're innovating regularly and consistently.
Yes.
I work with organizations. We're doing workshops monthly, quarterly, so that they're constantly in that phase and their organization never dies. Don't let your organization die.
We really do want to move you from being inspired into innovated into action.
That's right. So now there's something out there waiting for you.
Let's inspiredly go get it.